My today's video is about a concern, a very serious concern. We have spoken about this so many times, and yet I spoke to someone this morning and his application was rejected because of this particular issue. So let's get to this topic right away. Hi, I'm Kuber. Welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, do consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon. We talk about everything Canadian immigration. Subject of today's video, police clearance certificates. CIC needs police clearance certificates to make sure you are not inadmissible to Canada for the reasons of criminality or serious criminality. So the requirement from CIC is that you must provide a police clearance certificate from all countries that you have resided in for 6 months or more in a row for the last 10 years period or since the age of 18 years. So I got off a call with a person this morning whose application was rejected due to being incomplete because of the police clearance certificate. Now this person has received a nomination from Alberta and they are residing in Dubai as of right now, and they submitted their police clearance from Dubai as well as from India. But the problem was that they are residents in Dubai and they were able to submit the police clearance from Dubai. But for India, they actually traveled to India, obtained a police clearance from PSK or Passport Seva Kendra in India, flew back to Dubai and submitted the police clearance that they obtained from PSK in India. Now, many of you would wonder what's wrong with this. What's wrong with this is that the police clearance that they obtained from India is invalid because their country of residence is UAE, because they're residing in Dubai now, and they have now gone back to India, obtained the police clearance and come back to Dubai. So their period of stay in India after they obtained their police clearance is invalid, so it doesn't cover their entire period of stay, thereby making that police clearance from India invalid. What they should have done is they should have gone to the Indian consulate in Dubai and obtained the police clearance for India from the consulate in Dubai. That would have made their application complete. Unfortunately, this person has received the nomination from Alberta and that's how they managed to submit their application. It's very, very unfortunate because in this case, they will not be able to relink their application with Alberta nomination because Alberta does not extend the nomination again to the new profiles if your application gets rejected. So can you imagine how serious this is? So please be careful when you are submitting your police clearance certificates. Now comes the subject of validity of these police clearance certificates. If you are providing a PCC from the country of your residence, the country of residence basically means you could be a national of any country but residing in a different country. So for that particular country where you're residing, if you're providing a PCC from that country, it is valid for 6 months unless it is stated otherwise on the police clearance certificate. That's how CIC accepts it. They will accept it for the last 6 months or for the period of 6 months from the date of issue unless it otherwise states on the PCC. So that's for your country of residence where you're currently residing. Any other country where you have previously resided for at least 6 months or more in a row, for that country you must provide the PCC from outside that country. Okay, it's very, very important for you to understand. You cannot travel to that country and apply for a PCC from inside that country, okay? Then that PCC will become invalid unless CIC website clearly states that for that particular country you may travel to that country and obtain a PCC. Because there are certain countries where you may not be able to get a PCC from outside that country. For those countries, CIC has made an exception and it very clearly states that on their website. So you can check the CIC website and it will tell you how you will need to apply for that PCC and if you can travel to that country and obtain one. For any other country which is not your country of residence, you must apply from outside that country. It's extremely important. And that PCC, if it's the format and if it usually mentions your period of stay in the country, because you see, each country has a different way of giving you these police clearance certificates. It's a different format for each country. So as long as it's the format that CIC wants, again, go back to and refer to the CIC website. It clearly states what kind of format will be accepted. So if this format states your period of stay in that country, then you must ensure that your entire period of stay is covered. If you have resided in that country for any period of time, then this PCC must cover that entire period of stay. It's extremely important. Therefore, you cannot travel to that country and then obtain a PCC. You have to remember that PCC is one of the most common reasons why an application gets refused, and therefore you must be most careful about your police clearance certificates when applying. There is no recourse. Your application will be rejected for incompletion if you do not include all the PCCs. If your PCC is not in the required format, if your PCC is invalid, your application will be rejected. You must also remember that there is no requirement from CIC to upload all your documents in color except for your PCC. Your PCC has to be a color scan from the original document. You cannot make a grayscale copy, or you cannot make a photocopy of your PCC and then upload. If your police clearance is not in English language or in French language, then you also need to obtain a translation. Now, when you get a translation, get it done from a certified translator if it's possible. If not, then you will need to provide these documents: the original police clearance, the translated police clearance, the affidavit from the translator where the translator states that they have translated the document from the original document, and a certified copy. Certified copy basically means you will take a photocopy of the original police clearance and have it certified, have it notarized by a responsible authority or a person. Again, all these details are clearly mentioned on the CIC website. Please do follow. Now, there are certain police clearance certificates which need additional documents as well. For example, Australian police clearance certificate. In addition to getting an Australian police certificate from the respective authority, you also need to get a driving record from Victoria and Queensland if you were a resident in those states. Even if you are not a resident in those states, or even if you did not have a driving history or a driving license from Queensland and Victoria, you will still need to provide no driving record document from these two states. It's extremely important. Please make sure you get these documents, because if not, then again your application will be refused or will be rejected. So please be careful about the requirement of PCCs. Again, another one comes to my mind is Pakistan. If you have resided in different cities in Pakistan, you will need to obtain a police clearance from different cities where you have resided for 6 months or more in a row. The reason is that your single police clearance from one particular city may not cover the entire duration of your stay in Pakistan or in that particular city. Therefore, for Pakistan, you will need to go back to each city that you have resided in, or each province or each district that you have resided in, and for 6 months or more in a row, and obtain a police clearance certificate from them. So all these things you need to be very careful about. Police clearance certificates, as I keep repeating, is extremely important document in your application. It is required so that CIC can judge your inadmissibility or admissibility in this case for criminality, and basically clears you of criminality, and you therefore need to provide the PCCs. Before I sign off, I would like to invite you to come and join one of our Facebook groups. Post your questions on the group, post your queries on the group. You will be able to benefit from a lot of experience that our 150,000 members spread across different groups have. You will be able to learn what they did, what they could not do, what they could achieve from their application process, and that will help you as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I always talk about different processes and issues as far as Canadian immigration goes, and I'll keep doing that. Until next time, bye.
If you're looking to make Canada your home, simply ask Kabir.